In a quiet little town, there lived a man named Daniel. He was known for one thing: he always had to be right. If someone said something wrong, Daniel corrected them. If someone disagreed, he made sure he had the last word. And every time he won an argument, he felt powerful. But that power never lasted. At night, he'd lie in bed, replaying the words, the tone, the look on their face. He had won, sure, but somehow he didn't feel at peace. One afternoon, Daniel met an old man at a small park outside town. The man was sitting by the lake, feeding ducks, calm, quiet, and smiling at nothing in particular. Daniel sat down beside him and said, "Don't you ever get frustrated when people say stupid things?" The old man laughed softly and said, "If you argue with a fool, two fools are speaking. And if you argue with the wise, you've already lost your peace." Daniel frowned. "So you're saying I should just let people be wrong?" The old man picked up a small pebble and tossed it into the water. He said, "See that ripple? The water doesn't argue with the stone. It just moves around it and keeps flowing." Daniel thought for a moment, then muttered, "Yeah, but sometimes people need to be corrected." The man smiled kindly. "Peace doesn't need to prove itself right, son. Only the ego does." He pointed at the lake again. "When the water's still, you can see your reflection clearly. But when you keep stirring it, all you see is distortion." That night, Daniel couldn't stop thinking about what the old man said. He remembered all the arguments he'd had, with co-workers, with family, with strangers online, and he realized none of them had ever given him peace. So from that day on, he started changing. When people tried to provoke him, he smiled and stayed quiet. When someone challenged him, he simply said, "You might be right," and walked away. At first, people thought he'd lost his edge, but soon they noticed something else. He looked calmer, happier, freer. Months later, a friend said to him, "Daniel, you've changed. You used to argue about everything. Now you just let it go. Don't you care anymore?" Daniel smiled. "I used to think I lost when I stayed silent," he said. "But now I see silence isn't losing. It's choosing peace over noise." You don't need to win every argument, because sometimes walking away quietly is not surrender. It's strength. Let them have the last word and keep your peace, because in the end, peace is the only victory that truly matters.